Hey guys, happy Monday. Today is April 27th, and this is for Math 2. This is the circumference and area of a circle that we're talking about today, which should be a review from sometime in the past. But we're going to use this in the next couple of lessons, so we need to know this for now, okay? So I just want to quickly remind you of a few things, okay? So I have a circle here. I want to remind you that the radius is the point from the center to the outside of the circle, so it's half of the circle. Well, half of the distance from the center. And then the diameter is all the way across the circle. So radius is only halfway across the circle. Diameter is all the way across the circle. Sometimes they'll give you radius, sometimes they'll give you diameter. So be careful that you're paying attention to that, okay? All right, and so our circumference, want to remember, circumference is like perimeter. They just call it different because there's no real sides to a circle, but it is the distance all the way around the circle, so it's the outside part. Okay, so that the formula for circumference is C equals 2 pi r. And for our purposes, you can always leave your answers in terms of pi. I don't see any real need to multiply out the pi. It is 3.14, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's not necessary to multiply it out, but make sure you do have pi in your answer so that if you wanted an exact answer, you could multiply it out. And then the area, which is obviously the inside part, is pi r squared. Okay, so we're going to be using those today. Right, so let's look at our first example here. We have a circle, and we're going to find the circumference and the area of the circle. Okay, so first thing we need to pay attention to is the 9 is the radius. Okay, so that's the first thing we want to pay attention to. This is the radius that they've given us, which is good because that's what we need. So for circumference is 2 pi r, as we saw up there. So I'm going to replace the 9 with the r. So C equals 2 pi and then times 9. And then I can multiply the whole number. So 2 times 9 is 18. C equals 18 pi. And again, I could multiply this out if I wanted to, but you don't need to. It is going to be a much larger number than 18 though. So always keep in mind that that's part of your answer. And then this is distance around, so my units are just yard. Make sure you have answers, units in your answers. So there's my circumference. Then I'm going to go ahead and do the area. So area is pi r squared. Again, we already have the r, so I'm just going to replace the 9. So area equals pi 9 squared. So 9 squared means 9 times 9, which is 81. So then I can write that as 81 pi. And then I need units, and this is area, so it's going to be yards squared. Remember, area is always squared. There's my final answer. Okay, let's look at one more example just to make sure that we don't have any questions. Okay, notice again with this one, first we have to figure out what they're giving us, and notice that in this case they're giving us the diameter. This is the diameter, it's all the way across. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is figure out what the radius is. The radius is only this distance, which is going to be half, right? So then the radius would be 5. So that's what I'm using. Okay, so circumference equals 2 pi r. So I'm going to substitute in for the radius the 5. 2 times 5 is 10. So the circumference is 10 pi. And don't forget your units. It is feet as my units. Remember, circumference is not squared because it's not area. Same for area. Area equals pi r squared. I'm going to substitute again in the 5, the radius. So area equals pi times 5 squared. 5 squared is 5 times 5, which is 25. So the area is 25 pi. And we're talking about feet, but this is area, so it's feet squared. There's my final answer. Okay. We're going to use this some more tomorrow and the next day, so it's important you know how to do the basics so we can move forward. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Google Classroom, Remind, email, whatever you can do to get to talk to me. Have a great day, guys.